What I want to do here is draw a horizon line that is at the eye level of 2 feet. Now, when we say the eye level, we mean the eye level of the person looking at the scene. So I, the viewer, have my eye at 2 feet above the ground. That means that I might be sitting in a hole, or I might be lying down somehow, or just I'm very short. Anyway, the eye level is 2 feet, so I'm going to write over here, EL, 2 feet. Eye level is 2 feet. I'm going to draw 5 characters here: a boy, girl, woman, man, and a dog. The boy is 3 feet tall, and I'm going to draw him standing right here. Now, the thing about it is, if that's 2 feet, if that eye level is 2 feet, that eye level is 2 feet above every point on the ground. Right here, real close like this, this is 2 feet up to the eye level. So if I make a vertical line from where this boy is standing, now I'm going to make a 3-foot boy, but I know it's only 2 feet up to the horizon. So what I have there is, I'll write the label here, boy, 3 feet. This distance up to the horizon right here is 2 feet. 2 feet. Okay, if I want to measure 3 feet, I just add another one up to the top up here, 1 more foot. That's the height of a boy. Now, if I put a line here, as long as that line is on the ground, that is 2 feet below the horizon. If I put a line here, that's 2 feet below the horizon. And if I put a line here, as long as it's on the ground, that's 2 feet to the horizon. So that gives us a handy measuring device that we can use in perspective. So to draw this boy at 3 feet, I'll just do a kind of a crude boy here. Just a round head. He's kind of happy. Let's put a smiling face on him. And then a boy whose arms are a little too short, let's say. Okay, there's a boy. Now, he's 3 feet because I knew that his feet were down here 2 feet below the horizon. So I took that distance up to the horizon, divided it in half, and used another one of those units to go above and get a total of 3 feet. So there's a 3-foot boy. Okay, there's a girl here, and she is 4 feet tall, but she's way back here. So here's girl, 4 feet. Now, if I take a line from the level of her feet and draw up like that, I know that this much right here is 2 feet. Then I can take those same units of measure and repeat them up to here. This gives me the height of a 4-foot girl, standing pretty far away here. So here she is. She's much farther away than the boy is. So here's the girl at 4 feet. Okay? So there's a 4-foot girl. We have 2 feet here, and we've added 2 more feet in the same size units. All right, there's a woman standing here. She's 5 feet tall. Woman, 5 feet. Okay, I'm going to draw a vertical line here. Now that's 2 feet up to there, but I have to carry it on up. So I take this dimension here. I'm just approximating now. There's 2 feet there, and I'm going to use that same size. 3, 4, about that same size, 5. So I have 3 feet up here. So the height of this woman then, from where she's standing, gives me a height of a figure like this. So here she is. Give her a little more shoulder than that. Okay. Okay. There's the woman. Okay. 3 feet and 2 feet, 5 feet tall. All right, the man, he's real far away. He's way over here. And he's 6 feet tall. Man, 6 feet. So I'm going to make a vertical line here. And again, use that same principle again. 2 feet up to the horizon. Then I'm going to repeat 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 feet plus 2 feet is 6 feet. Okay, this is getting a little tedious. Let's do something a little different after I do the man here. Here's the man. I'll just make a symbol for a man. Okay? So let's put a dog here. A dog is kind of an interesting thing. Let's put him real close. He's the closest of all of these. So right here then is a dog. And again, he's 2 feet below, or where he's sitting on the ground is 2 feet below the horizon. But the dog is only 18 inches tall. That's 1.5 feet. So let's divide this right here in half, get 1 foot. Then let's take half a foot here. 1 1/2 feet. Here's the height of the dog, 1 1/2 feet. So a dog sitting here okay, there's a dog 1.5 feet tall, all right? So the dog is 1 1/2 feet tall. Okay, the sentence that needs to go with this is the following, and I think I can just say it. I don't need to write it on here. The horizon line passes through every object at the same height. Maybe I will write it out. The horizon line passes through every object at the same height. Now we also say by looking at the dog, H-E-I-G-H-T, by looking at the dog we realize it also passes over certain objects, but always at the height of 2 feet. So that 2 feet gives us a handy measuring device. Let me show you another way to use the horizon as a measuring device. Let's set out another piece of paper here. And let's get this one out of here. What I will do then is demonstrate here how we can use this information to measure in various ways in perspective. So let's start then with a clean piece of paper here and draw. Let me tape it down. I want to draw a horizon line, and I want to show, and I'll give it a certain height. Let's say, let's give it a height of 3 feet, a horizon line at 3 feet high. So I'll use the T-square here and draw a horizon that I'll say is 3 feet up. And I think I'm going to use a certain scale here. I'm going to use inches. Let's say an inch, 1 inch equals a foot, that sort of thing. So right here then is a horizon line at 3 feet. Now here's what I know. If I'm going to put a point on the ground 3 feet below that, and I'm using 1 inch as the scale, so what I have now, I know that that horizon is 3 feet up. So if I make a vertical line up to the horizon, that line is 3 feet tall. I also can use that horizontally. If I know that that's 3 feet, I can measure that and turn it sideways and get 3 feet here. So now I have, I can use it for horizontal measurement also. Well, I know that was easy since we already knew 1 inch equals 1 foot. But let's say you had something back here. Now what we have here is the horizon at 3 feet. If we measure that and draw that same line sideways, or that same measurement sideways here, we will get that same measurement. So we have a means here of measuring width and height. So here, say, is a box that's 3 feet tall. It's touching the horizon. If it's 3 feet tall, it would be touching the horizon. All right, if I have a figure standing here, let's say a man who is 6 feet tall. It's 3 feet up to the horizon. What I'll do is measure that distance and repeat that above the horizon to get a total of 6 feet. So 3 3/4 comes up to here. So here is a 6 foot tall man based on a 3 foot eye level or horizon line. Let me make sure that's right. Let's see. Yeah, close, a little bit shorter. All right, so I have a figure. I'll just do a quick symbol for a man standing here, okay? Looks like he's been working out, got broad shoulders. All right, here's the man. Now, if there's going to be another man standing here, I could measure it a number of different ways. Let's draw the line right through the center of the man like this. Now, if I want to draw another man standing at this point here, one way I could do it is to draw a line from the base of this known 6-foot line, carry it up to the horizon, and get what I call a reference point, and draw back then to the top of this man. I can get the head of this guy standing here. All right. Another way I can do it, if I want to show a man standing here, is I can do a vertical line here, and I want to measure that at 6 feet. Of course, I could do that, just double it like we did before. Or another way I can do it is to bring a horizontal line over to this bottom line, carry a vertical line up to the top line, and bring it back horizontally. As long as I'm doing truly horizontal lines, I could find the 6-foot man here. So we have 3 different ways there of drawing other 6-foot figures. So these are handy ways to transfer scale from one line to another. Also, we can do things like this. I think I'll need another piece of paper to do this. Hold on for a minute here. What I'm going to do here is transfer scale by using something called reference points. A reference point is usually used to transfer scale from one parallel line to another. So let's do that. A reference point is usually used to transfer scale from one parallel line to another. That even means lines that are in perspective. So look this over. So a reference point is usually used to transfer scale from one parallel line to another. If I have here, say, a horizon line, we don't know what the eye level is. It's unknown at this point. Something underneath there. Oh, the triangle. All right. Now, if I want to transfer scale from this line, let's say line AB, to point C, I want to do a line at C that is the same length as line AB. Well, I just come up to C and make a horizontal line like that. I'm going to say that's line number 1. Line number 2 then is to line up a line between A and C up here like this, carry it up to the horizon. Line number 2 gives me the reference point. RP is reference point. Now drawing from the reference point back to B, that will give me a line at C that is the same length as line AB. Okay, I can also do it vertically. I think we've shown that already, but let's do it again here. Here's a vertical here, line AB, and I want to put a line here at C that is the same height as AB. What I'll do is make line number 1 will be a vertical line here, 1. Line 2 is a line from B through the, well, let's call this point C. From B through point C up here to get a reference point. Reference point back to the top of A will cut line number 1 to be the same height as line A. So I'm using reference points to transfer scale from one parallel line to another. Now the thing is, this also works in perspective. Parallel lines in perspective converge to vanishing points. So here is a vanishing point, and here are 2 parallel lines. Like let's say there's 2 lines on the ground that are parallel to each other, and they're just going off to infinity. What I would like to do then is I'm going to say that this is line AB from here to here, AB. And I want to transfer it to point C here. What I would do is I would come to point C and draw a line toward the vanishing point, then draw a line from A through C up here to get a reference point. Then from the reference point I'd draw back to B, and that would give me at C a line parallel to AB at the same length. Now this only works for parallel lines. You can't transfer scale to lines that are not parallel. There are other ways of doing that.